Constable Troy, the Honor Guard. Thank you, Super Veteran Jim Walsh. Thank you to the Wyoming Valley West School District, especially the student body here at the middle school. Thank you for keeping the spirit of Veterans Day alive and well in this very important school ceremony. Thank you for inviting me to join you as we gather to celebrate the veterans of America's armed forces. To the heroes in this room and to those around the world who have answered the call of service to their country, a grateful nation says thank you. Before I share some thoughts on the importance of Veterans Day, please let me say a few words about our front troops, our first responders in the Pennsylvania State Police. The brave men and women of the Pennsylvania State Police, many of them veterans themselves, carry on a rich and proud tradition of defending our freedoms on the battlefields of foreign lands by returning home to protect our personal safety on the streets of communities across Pennsylvania. As every veteran and Pennsylvania State Police officer knows, when you take up arms in defense of liberty, you must be prepared to pay the ultimate price. Sadly, an area native, Trooper Brian Dixon, paid that price. Our thoughts and prayers remain with Trooper Dixon's family and his extended Pennsylvania State Police family as they endure this recent tragedy. Trooper Dixon was a veteran, an exemplary police officer, a husband, and a father. While a heinous, cowardly assault took his life, no act of violence can diminish the remarkable story of Trooper Dixon's life. Trooper Dixon's story will be told by his fellow officers to his children and to the generations of children to come. A story that will stir the hearts as a reminder that we must forever remain vigilant against evil, that we must forever remain PSP strong in the face of those who wish to perpetrate violence in our community. Understanding Trooper Dixon's story helps us move forward as a community, and how we share the stories of our heroes will define our future. It was Kipling who said, if history was taught in the form of stories, it would never be forgotten. If I can leave you with one simple message today, it would be this. Ask the hero in your family about their stories. Ask the veteran in your family. Ask your grandparents and your parents and your neighbors. Ask them their stories. Listening to those stories will help you understand your past so you never forget the sacrifices that were made to make the United States of America the land of the free and the home of the brave. One story that I recall is a story about an uncle of mine who was a veteran of World War II. My uncle never talked about his military service. Most of our veterans are humble men who do not brag about their service and their time in war. They guard those stories and the emotions behind them. My uncle was getting up in years, and he stopped by my office one day, and I noticed he was a bit emotional. He asked me to help him. I asked, how could I do that? He said, I need you to get my medals back so I can tell my grandchildren my story. I was intrigued. I wasn't aware my uncle had medals. I wasn't aware my uncle had a war story. My uncle proceeded to tell me the remarkable story of his life, a story of a soldier who landed on the beaches of France to repel the German army, a story of a soldier who lived through the great battles of World War II, a story of a soldier who endured a German prisoner camp, a story of a soldier who escaped that POW camp and lived off the land of the French countryside until teaming back up with American forces who went on to liberate Europe. I was stunned by his story. I was inspired by his story. And I helped my uncle get his medals back, not because he wanted to bask in the glory of his past achievements, well-earned achievements. He wanted those medals so he could tell the story of his life to his grandchildren, so he could tell the story of America's veterans, the story of America and of how America became the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Listen to the story of America's veterans and tell those stories again and again. If we tell the story of America's veterans, then their heroic lives will never be forgotten. Thank you to Wyoming Valley West. Thank you for honoring America's veterans today. May God bless our veterans, our soldiers in harm's way, our Pennsylvania State Police family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.